Looking back on 2025, it feels like the whole year was running on two completely different operating systems at the exact same time. It was a year of these really sharp and honestly pretty surreal contradictions.
So, on one side of things, you've got the entire world stage being completely redrawn. We're talking about these massive, monumental shifts in power and policy. The kind of stuff that's absolutely going to shape our future for decades to come.
And then on the other hand, the entire internet, pretty much everyone, became collectively obsessed with a mispronounced pastry. Yep, you heard me right, a pastry. So that's the big question, right? How on earth did we live in both of these realities at once? How do you even begin to process a world where high-stakes diplomacy and just complete viral absurdity are existing side by side? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. Okay, so let's get into it. First up, let's dive into the serious, heavy-hitting headlines that really dominated the year. Just look at this timeline. It really gives you that feeling of just relentless change, doesn't it? We saw a new U.S. administration, a truly historic transition in the papacy, and these incredibly high-stakes summits trying to broker peace from Ukraine to the Middle East. It honestly felt like the geopolitical ground was shifting under our feet, month after month. But beyond all the summits and handshakes, maybe the single biggest story was the economic shockwave. The new U.S. administration introduced what they called reciprocal tariffs, and some reports were citing rates as high as 50 to 60% on nations like China and the BRICS. Now, this wasn't just some minor policy tweak. This was a fundamental shock to the system that forced entire countries to completely rewire their global supply chain. And this right here, this brings us to the core contradiction of the year. Because while all of that heavy stuff was going on, the vast majority of us online were focused on something a little different. So let's switch gears and look at the completely different version of 2025, the one that was playing out on all of our screens every single day. So meet the Prashant croissant. It all started with a simple, innocent mispronunciation, and from there, it just exploded into the single biggest meme of the year. It led to viral audio clips, endless video skits, and it got so massive that major brands actually started using it in their official marketing. It was absolutely inescapable. And the Prashant croissant was definitely not alone. The Viral Hall of Fame for 2025 was a truly wild mix. We had everything from these creepy cute dolls that suddenly became a status symbol to an excruciatingly awkward kiss cam moment that became the year's most replayed clip. Our feeds were just this unfiltered, deeply strange, and constantly shifting collection of trends. And maybe nowhere was this jarring duality more obvious than in India. The nation really became a perfect microcosm of 2025's whiplash, experiencing the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, all at the very same time. This slide just lays out that stark contrast so clearly. On one side, you have these incredible national triumphs, winning the Women's Cricket World Cup, seeing staggering GDP growth, and hitting new milestones in space. But on the other side, the country was simultaneously grappling with just immense tragedy, from terror attacks and a deadly stampede to a major plane crash. Let's just zero in on the economics for a second. In a year of global uncertainty, India's economy showed incredible resilience. The country posted an 8.2% GDP growth in the second quarter, and inflation cooled to a remarkably low 0.71%. By pretty much any metric, it was a story of tremendous economic strength. But then, you have to set that economic data right up against this number. According to one report, India experienced an extreme weather event or a climate-related disaster on 99% of the days in 2025. That's just a staggering reality to live with, and it perfectly captures the brutal contrast of the year. A booming economy against a backdrop of constant environmental crisis. So what do we make of all this? How do we even process a year that's defined by such intense and contradictory streams of information? And what does it say about us? Well, one way to understand it is as a new kind of coping mechanism. Think about it. We are constantly bombarded with heavy, complex, anxiety-inducing news about tariffs, conflicts, and disasters. In response, we look for a digital escape, a shared, simple, and often nonsensical moment of connection, like a meme about a croissant. This constant toggling back and forth between the serious and the silly might have just become our new default way of experiencing the world. And this really leads to the central question of 2025.
Is all this online absurdity a necessary and, healthy pressure release valve from the very real anxieties of the modern world? Or is it a sign that we're becoming more and more disconnected, maybe even desensitized, to the major events that are actually shaping our lives? Which leaves us with one final thought. In this age of dizzying contrasts, what truly defines an era? When history looks back at 2025, will it be the year of reciprocal tariffs and shifting global power? Or will it be remembered as the year of the Prashant croissant? The answer to that, well, it might say more about us than it does about the year itself.